In October 2023, Jeffrey Piccolo faced the unimaginable. His wife, Dr. Kanokporn Tangswan, tragically passed away after suffering a severe allergic reaction at Raglan Road, a popular pub in Disney Springs, part of Walt Disney World. Determined to seek justice, Jeffrey filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Disney and the restaurant. But Disney is pushing back with a surprising argument. Disney claims that Jeffrey unknowingly agreed to settle disputes through arbitration when he signed up for Disney Plus, a streaming service, years earlier. They argue that this agreement, along with a similar one from a recent ticket purchase, prevents the case from going to court. Disney's argument is unprecedented, suggesting that by accepting terms for a streaming service, customers waive their right to a jury trial even in cases of personal injury or wrongful death. This raises significant questions about the limits of contract law. Jeffrey's legal team calls this claim inane and preposterous, stating that such a waiver should not apply to such a serious matter. They argue that his wife, who never agreed to these terms, is not bound by them. Disney's defense is novel and could have far-reaching implications if accepted by the court. It challenges the traditional understanding of where and how arbitration agreements apply. As this legal battle unfolds, it will be up to the Florida courts to decide whether Disney can shield itself from a public trial. Can a click on a streaming service really waive such serious rights? Follow this story for updates. Justice for Dr. Tangswan. Justice for Dr. Tangswan. The crux of Disney's argument lies in the fine print of their terms and conditions. When Jeffrey signed up for Disney Plus, he, like many users, likely skimmed through the lengthy document without fully understanding its implications. These terms often include clauses that mandate arbitration for any disputes, effectively waiving the right to a court trial. But can such a clause really extend to a wrongful death case? Legal experts are divided. Some argue that arbitration agreements are becoming increasingly common and are legally binding, while others believe that applying them to such severe cases is a gross overreach. Historically, arbitration was intended for resolving business disputes quickly and efficiently, not for cases involving personal tragedy and loss. The rise of digital services has led to a proliferation of these agreements, often buried in the fine print that users rarely read. This case could set a precedent for how these terms are enforced in the future. The judge in this case will have to consider whether the arbitration clause in a streaming service's terms can indeed cover such a serious and unrelated matter. For Jeffrey, this legal battle is not just about the fine print. It's about seeking justice for his wife, who had no part in agreeing to these terms. His legal team is preparing to argue that the arbitration clause should not apply, emphasizing the gravity of the situation and the need for a public trial. Disney Springs, a place meant for joy and entertainment, has become the center of a legal storm. The outcome of this case could impact not just Jeffrey, but countless others who use digital services. The legal community is watching closely, as the decision could redefine the boundaries of arbitration agreements and consumer rights. Media coverage has been extensive, with many questioning the ethics of Disney's defense. Is it fair to bind customers to such serious terms through a simple click? Public opinion is divided. Some see Disney's stance as a necessary legal strategy, while others view it as a heartless attempt to avoid accountability. Analysts predict that the case could go all the way to higher courts, potentially setting a landmark decision in contract law. As the court date approaches, both sides are gearing up for a fierce legal battle. The stakes are high, and the outcome could have lasting repercussions. For Jeffrey, it's a fight for justice and closure. For Disney, it's a test of their legal boundaries and corporate policies. This case is more than just a legal dispute. It's a clash between personal tragedy and corporate interests, between the fine print and fundamental rights. As we await the court's decision, one thing is clear. The outcome will resonate far beyond this courtroom, potentially affecting millions of consumers and their rights. Follow this story for updates. Justice for Dr. Tangswan. Justice for Dr. Tangswan.